The new edition of Can I Be Honest, brought to you by Pull-Ups. In honor of June being National Potty Training Awareness Month, I'm going to get very honest about potty training in the Kelsey house. Yeah, we've had a couple accidents. We've had a lot of successes, and I think that you should focus on those, but not right now, because why would we tell stories about the successes and not talk about the shit that happened in the kitchen floor? It literally was a turd on the kitchen floor. I started out potty training Wyatt with one of the little mini potties. The ones where when they're done, you have to like dump the bowl into the toilet and flush it. It was not the way to go. That wasn't our potty training journey. We quickly figured out that what we needed was a potty seat for on top of our actual potty, because I thought that the way we were going to get through it was to put the potty seat downstairs so that she didn't feel like she was away from everything, and that she would there was one day I let her watch Miss Rachel while she was sitting on the potty, as if that was going to help her. It didn't. She was just naked sitting in the living room. So the one day I tried to ask her to go potty on that potty, I was in the kitchen doing something and she didn't want to be left alone. So we put the potty in the kitchen. She sat on it for a while, and then she got up and walked around for a minute, and then promptly squatted directly next to the potty and took a dump on the floor. That was the end of that. So then we ended up doing potty on the actual potty with a potty seat. Specifically, one that we have loved is one that has like laddered steps up to the potty so that they can do it themselves. Jason and I very much tag team this activity. It happens to end up being, in a very joking manner, I will try to get my kids to call for dad. In other words, when they tell me I need to go potty, I'll say, great, you go up and get started. And when you're all done, dad will come and wipe your hiney. That is key, because when they say, Dad, I'm all done pooping. Dad, he can't help himself. He has to go. He really can't. I will tell you what. I feel like some people understand this. When your kids, I don't know about other people's kids. My kids have all gone through a very mom phase where it's mom this, mom that. I'm not leaving mom. It's not dad. It's mom. It's not a very long phase, but it's sometimes with certain kids, it was intense. And it really helps me in this trying to trick the kids into calling for dad specifically. Sometimes they do it, obviously. Sometimes they do it on their own without being prompted. But Jason's a sucker for when they call for him, because he's like, yeah, they called me, not you. And so it works out to my benefit. And also, it's adorable that he's like, they called my name. They called for me. And I'm like, yeah, they did. Go wipe that ass. Just go wipe the poop off their butt. Speaking of I'm all done pooping, it's been a year since the Ellie moment on the other podcast, so I figured I'd give a butt wiping update. We have two that are fully taking care of themselves. And Benny takes care of herself, but likes to check in when it's a number two, if you will. When she has to get a little more in depth. I did ask the real ones when they stopped wiping their kids' butts, and the consensus seemed to be kindergarten. I would say that this is the case for the most part, but much like every other freaking situation, when one kid starts doing it, the next kid decides that maybe it's my turn too. And then the next kid jumps in and they're like, hey, I can do it too. So it gets consecutively smoother, it seems. Prior to the being summoned to wipe a butt phase, we have been in the potty training trenches with 3 of our 4. And there's a few things that have consistently worked for us. Number 1, timers. I have to set a timer. I'm busy doing other things. I'll forget, they'll forget, and then it's too far gone. And a lot of times you end up running and potentially having an accident directly in front of the potty, which is a ridiculous phenomenon. The second thing that we're doing is picking up on signals. They do a lot of pee-pee dancing. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's when your knees go together and you're just sort of like, almost like cricketing your thighs. Okay. That means they need to go to the bathroom. Now, if your kids are anything like my kids, some of them might swear deep in their soul that they don't have to go. They're lying to your face. The thing that you should always push is that we'll try. That's it. We'll just try. And in line with that, they can try for the next tip, which is the treat system. A little candy would be great. Okay. Where you can give 1 candy for trying and 2 candies for doing it. Maybe 4 little candies for a number 2, or maybe 1 candy for a number 1 and 2 candies for a number 2. That lines up nicely. The other thing that I found invaluable are pull-ups. I really love the fact that they are there for you to make sure that you're not going to end up in a messy situation. Because there's something not so great about when your child comes to you and they were wearing undies because you're potty training and they say, I peed. And you say, where? And they say, I don't know. Because now you're looking for a puddle. And worse, when it's not a puddle on a hardwood floor or a tile floor, then you're feeling around a carpet. I've been there a couple times. Pull-ups avoids that. Pull-ups now has a new learning layer. It's something that I wish I had when I was training the older girls. It really is a game changer. It's designed to help kids learn wet from dry. So it will actually feel wet and then it will wick the moisture away from their skin so that they don't have a problem with any type of skin irritation. I'm very excited to try the pull-ups learning layer with Finn. If for any of you who are going through potty training right now, good luck. I really think that's the only thing left there is to say. It sucks. I should say it stinks, pun intended. And that does it for Can I Be Honest, brought to you by Pull-Ups.